cold down here. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the channel. Think I got a pretty good episode for you guys today, and we're getting back on our boy Grem. So let me flip you around, show you what we're gonna do today, and then we're gonna get to work. All right, he's been back here just taking a nap with everyone else, but we got to get back on our schedule here. So the next thing in line to do is we are gonna fix all of this. Try to get all this dialed in from the Burnout competitions. Now, we're not going to try to make it brand new with all new quarters and all that, but we're going to straighten it up and pretty it up just a tickle. I mean, all of this. Yeah, he's been beat on a little bit, which is fine. We're probably going to do a little bit of the same thing, but again, I just want to doll him up a little bit. We're going to get this rear bumper tucked as well. The thing is Grem is so small, I'm not going to sit down here on the ground and do all this, especially when I have a lift. The unfortunate part is I'm going to have to get the dirty Dodge off here, get him put back over there for now, get Grem drugged back out, get him back on the lift, and then we're going to utilize this, you know, so I can stand up rather than lay on the ground. Welcome back to the channel. You know the deal. Let's quit talking about it. Let's be about it. This is Busted Radial Garage. All right, guys, we got Grem up here on the lift where we can get all of this like in our face and see what we're working with. And yeah, he's chewed up a little bit in here. We got some lip folded up. We don't have any lip from here to here, so we're gonna have to figure that out. This isn't that big a deal. It's all cosmetic and rubber and jazz. Same here, just cosmetic. You know, we're gonna have to get this all sanded down, get it, you know, dolphin smooth, and then we'll have to repaint this section of line back. Probably gonna go ahead when I redo the orange. I'm just gonna kind of try to match it in with the bottom part of this line and get all this just kind of feathered in, and then we'll reshoot this line. But we got a fender lip here all folded back. Let's see what this other side looks like right quick. Then we got to get this bumper off here so we can tuck it. What we got over here? A little bit of the same. A lot of this is just cosmetic stuff. This here's pretty rough. We're gonna have to pull this back out, straighten this out as best we can. I know the lighting's terrible. I don't have anything set up yet. This lip's all bent under. And then again with the paint, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sand all this down. Not, you know, just a scuff and shoot. Maybe just some scuff up here to get it smooth. But yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do some sheet metal work here. I mean, Grem is going to still be somewhat of a burnout car for my channel. You know, we're going to do some little stuff, bigger events with him. But I mainly want to get him set up as a drag car. I've already got him commissioned for a cage. You know, we've got the blower, all that we're going to put on here. We're going to upgrade the front brakes. And we're just going to have fun with him. Try to make a bracket car out of him is what I'd like to do. Because I've got enough burnout cars, right? I mean, I got Monzilla, got Noisy Cricket, and then Homer. But I would like to use him for just a drag bracket car. I think it'd be really fun. And then when we go to bigger events for like Cletus and cars and stuff, where we take multiple cars, you know, like Grem, Monzilla, Noisy Cricket, Homer, take all four, you know, we can throw them out and play around. But anyway, I think the next step for me is we're going to get some kind of contraption rigged up here to where we can get the whole back of the car up off the lift. To be honest with you, I ordered one of the hydraulic sets that go here, but it's in storage, and I got to get it out and bring it over here. Tick, where you can raise the whole car up. But for now, I just got to come up with something so we can get these tires off. That way we can focus on this body. So let's get to work. All right, guys, there we go. Got him just a tickle clear of the lift, which is all I need on both sides. So here was my plan. I just took one of my stands here with an old 4x6 treated post, about 8 foot long. Just run it across frame rail to frame rail. Put that there in the center to hold him up in the air. Now, for the love of God, don't do what I'm doing. I'm an idiot. If you've been here long enough, you know better. But yeah, that's all we need. So let's go ahead and get you set up. Let's get these tires off and let's really take a look at this body. All righty then. I'm gonna get you all prettied up, little fella. Can't wait to get all this cosmetic stuff done, and then we can get started on the blower, the brakes, the rear end, cage. That's what I'm screaming. Come on here, little fella. All right. Cute little bear brakes. All right, let's go get this other side off, and then we're gonna get to crack-a-lacking. All right, let's snag this side off here. Well, that one wasn't even tight. Who put that on? Yeah, I did. I did. All right, let's see what we're working with. Whoo, that is folded way up underneath there. So we're gonna have to get that pried back, get that straightened out, figure out a lip situation for here, if anything at all. This side's really not that bad. Got a little bit of a fold there. Typical little holes. Mopar bodies, just it is what it is. All right, let's go look at this other side right quick. Pretty much the same thing here. That's just folded under. So we'll pry that back out. See if we can create a new lip here. And then we'll just dial the rest of this in. It's really not too awful bad, mainly all cosmetic. All right, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and start with this side. Heck with it, we're here. So let's get some body tools out and let's see if we can straighten this out. All right, guys, I wanna see if I can get this piece of lip tucked back out of the way right now so I don't get hung on it. And then we're gonna focus on that over there. Oh yeah, like it never even happened. Oh, that's perfect. Popping the Bondo out, or the body filler, so we'll have to put that back in, but at least it's not bothering us. So now, we gotta try to get this folded back out so we can even try to get a dolly back in there and work that. Same here. Get a dolly and work that back out. Let me get some tools, hold on. Let's see if we can even pry this back out-ish to where we can work with it. This is gonna look a little barbaric at first, but we gotta start somewhere. And there's just not a whole lot left. I do not want to put quarters on this. It just does not make sense for me to do that. We can just start with this lip. There we go. She's a coming now, by God. Now we might be able to get a dolly back here and start smoothing this out and bring that this way. This here, we're just gonna have to try to create a lip here and then make a patch. It's the only thing I can think, or just leave it. I'd rather not do that. Good grief. All right, let's keep working here real quick. Not sure I can even get a dolly back in here. There we go. coming back around. So I mean, I brought that out, shoot an inch probably. Just keep working it here. There we go. Now, I mean, I know you guys probably can't see anything, but you can see the difference already on where it's coming back out. There we go. So now we see, now that we brought that back out, well, kind of get an idea of where our dolly or where our lip needs to be. I'm thinking I might try to rebuild this lip, and we'll come in here and cut out and we'll just weld a patch right here. But we've got, you know, we've got some work to do. Yeah, we need to try to bring this lip here back down. This actually needs to go up. All right, let me get in here and sand some of this off, and we'll get an idea of what we're looking at as far as metal wise. But I mean, even just that 5 minutes of dolly work brought that right back around. All right, good deal. Let me get this sanded up. So I'll bring you in here and show you real quick. So this entire section here was folded up, you know, tucked in back here in the back. So just pried it loose or pried it around, and then just took this dolly, shoved it in behind the lip here, and then we just worked it back out. But I mean, that looks a ton better considering what we're working with, right? So I'm thinking we'll build this lip back, and then we'll create a patch right here. Or we'll try to create a patch with the lip. It's gonna be kind of, for me anyway, because I'm no expert body man, but try to create this curve and then also having a lip in it as well. So we'll play around, right? You live and you learn. So anyway, what I want to do is I want to come in and get this all cleaned off, see what we're working with. Probably go ahead and get this cleaned up a little bit here too. Might even just go ahead and work all this right quick, because I know there's filler right here. So yeah. All right, let me get to cleaning up on this right quick. All right, guys, we got this thing pretty well straightened out. I mean, for what we can work with, right? So took the dolly, smoothed this section back out, got this lower section smoothed back out. So we would just have to create a patch to go here, which isn't that big a deal. Now, there is a lot of body filler in here. I can't remember watching Josh's video on exactly how bad this was. But, you know, again, it's just going to be a drag car / burnout car. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but we'll get it as close as we can. So essentially, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sand everything up through here, scuff it, get all of this worked down smooth. Again, follow this body line up the quarter, work my way back down here, make a patch, get all this, again, correct and dolphin smooth. And then we'll, you know, put body filler obviously in, get that all dialed in, everything as straight as humanly possible. And then we'll just shoot essentially from this stripe down to the rocker, around and back up, and then feather this all in so it looks, you know, somewhat decent. Then we'll reshoot this stripe, But before we do all that, we're obviously gonna have to get this bumper off because I'm gonna have to get back in here and get all this dialed in. Same on the other side. So yeah, a lot of work, but it's gonna be worth it when it's done. So I guess what I'm gonna do now is probably go ahead and focus on getting this bumper off because there's no sense of keeping it on there anymore. We've got a tremendous amount of work to do here. So let's get you set up and get this bumper out of here. All right, let's get some liquid muscle up on these bolts. Where are we at? One there, one there. This one's only got two holding it on. All right. Ha! Same with this one. Okay. All right. Let's get a ratchet and get these off here. 4 bolts holding the bumper on. I like it. I like it. All right. Are we 1/2 inch? Is that what we are? Lift right away. No, 9/16. Okay. Okay. We can do that. All right. Let's get you off here. Easy enough. Hopefully I can get this off here that drop on my head. Shouldn't be that heavy as little as it is. But you never know. You never know. All right, what we got here? Well, that's gone forever. Stay. How heavy are you? Good night. All right, let's set you over here in a pile somewhere. All right, guys, there we go. So now we got the bumper off. You can see the little factory indentation here for the bumper. So when we shave that bumper, we're gonna pull it all the way up to where it sits perfectly within this little indentation, and it won't be sticking out anymore, and we don't have to worry about any like filler panel in here. And we'll do that on both sides. So anyway, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and work this paint off all of this area here, right up to the body line, around the old fender well here, all the way down to this area in the rocker, or above the rocker, and then we're gonna start working this off. So I'm gonna get this area completely cleaned up. So let me get this done real quick and I'll check back with you. All right, guys, there we go. I'm at a pretty good stopping point right now. I'm pretty happy with it. So I've got everything here worked down to the base of the rocker. Got this all smoothed out. Unfortunately, we lost our stripe. There were some big gouges in here and all that. Just kind of worked all the way up to the roof line, right above that stripe, and down the back of the hatch. I'll show you that here in a second. So we've got all this worked, and it is super smooth. Don't really feel a whole lot in the paint anymore. I mean, we got some ugly spots, don't get me wrong. I'm having to use a ladder because, you know, he's up in the air now. So let me get you back here, show you this right quick. So we did have a bunch of scarring up here from something. I'm not sure. So I went ahead and worked up to the roof line up there. Got this all dialed in. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and finish working up there to the roof trim down to here. And we'll just repaint this entire section of stripe back here. I think I'll just get some photos of it so we can match it back okay. But we went ahead and removed the marker light, the bumper, got it all out of the way. This here down here is in really good shape. It's just right here where I guess he blew a casing and it just ripped this to pieces. So I'm gonna have to get a dolly and work this lip out a little bit more so we match down here. And then I'm just gonna cut this lip off, cut it off clean down here. We're gonna build a new lip, go ahead and get it tack welded in place. And then I'll come in here at a safe spot, cut out a nice area here, get this built in, and then we'll weld it all together. And then obviously massage it in, a little bit of filler, and be done with it. And this will be built back nice and solid. But yeah, really happy with that. I hated getting in here, and I know this might upset a few people, but I promise you it needed to be done. And this side is the good side. This side over here is gonna take, I'd say we're gonna have to rebuild pretty much from the body line. We'll cut it here right before the bumper indentation, and we'll just cut it down and get rid of all this and build an entire new piece. Because, I mean, whew, that's rough. But we'll get it all, you know, wire wheeled down, sanded down. You know, we're obviously going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to get all this cleaned up. And I know, you know, it's maybe going overboard as far as getting this dialed in, but you know what? It is what it is. I want to get it cleaned up. We're going to have to build a section of lip here, get this welded in. I may go ahead and cut this out and build a panel here, get that fixed. But yeah, not too bad. I'm tickled with it. It's awesome. All right, well, let me get over here. We're going to get some metal dug out over here to my scrap pile. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and get this lip worked first. See what I'm going to have to get into back here. Hopefully not a whole lot. And then we'll get this dialed in. And then we'll start figuring out what we're going to do as far as body work, how much filler we're going to need. You know, we'll block all this, get it good and straight. And then we'll get this side ready. And then we'll go over to the other side, do the same thing. All right, guys, let's see if we can do like we done on the other side and get this lip brought back out. And man, this one's got to come a ton. This one's got to go back. Yeah, it's a mess. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, man. Try to keep from cutting my fingers off here. Ah, mercy. There we go. That brought it around. Still got to come a ways though. There we go. She's coming around now, by God. Boy, this thing just got the dickens beat out of it. We're going to have to pull this back out. There we go. That's looking much more better. Much more better. Man, look at that. Good 1.5 inches probably. All right, let's see if we can get this bent back around. Not sure if I can get enough swing this way. It's going to be cobbled together, that is for sure. That looks a lot better. See if we can get this lip here. All right. Need to see if we can get this brought back down. Now we're starting to get some shape. You can see where our lip's going to go. We didn't have that a couple seconds ago. Much better. Much better. This here I'm not too concerned with. I mean, obviously we're just going to follow suit with some body filler and try to get it as smooth as we can. This here, on the other hand, we're going to have to try to pop out. I'm not sure if I can get it on this side or not. There's not enough room on the inside to swing and punch it this way. You got to be careful with the old head sticking in there with all that metal. That looks a lot better already. We're going to have to do the same thing on this side as we're going to have to do over there, and that's we're going to have to create a lip and then create a patch. I'm not sure if I ought to try to make a patch for all this though. We're just going to have to see how it pans out. But anyway, a lot better. A lot better. Oh, we got to fix this lip. I know some auto body guy at home like, what are you doing? But again, please keep in mind, this isn't going to be a daily driver. All right, you can see where our lip is here. Well, the lack of, rather. You can see where the good lip is. And then follow it on down, and here's another good section of lip. Get you a light. So we're gonna have to do the same thing here as we're gonna have to do on the other side, and that is create a new lip, an inside and an outside section of sheet metal, and then weld it all in. We're gonna have to pop this section out for sure. And then what we'll do is we'll come in and put some filler in here and smooth it out real nice. Hopefully get, you know, another season or two out of it. Very cool. All right, well, I think what we're gonna do is we'll go ahead and go to the other side, and we're gonna start getting some sheet metal out and get to melting some metal. All right, I got a couple pieces of metal over here from cut up car hoods. Do I wanna use this one? Yeah, that looks about the same gauge. We got Grem's old hood back there. This one come out of Noisy Cricket, but I think this will work. We'll cut us a 2-foot section about 3/4 inch wide, nice and straight, and we'll use this to create our lips. So, get up here. Let's get this marked out real nice and cut us a piece out of it. All right, guys, I'm looking for a strip about 3/4 inch wide, as long as I can get it. And then what we're gonna do is we'll clean it up real nice, and then we'll start creating a lip out of it. And then we'll start on our patches. So yeah, let's get this cut out right quick. Let me find some straight edge, crying out loud. All right, hold on. All right, this ought to work. I need a bigger workbench. Let's see. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, let's hook up a death wheel and whack, cut this thing off. All righty then, let's get to cutting. Good deal, Lucy. Let's see what we got. Ow, sharp, stupid. All right, probably hot. Whew. Man, that's gonna make a perfect lip. Perfect. Snip this off. There we go. Perfect little 3/4 inch lip. So let me get like a wire brush. We'll get this cleaned up. And we're gonna test fit it on the car. All right, guys, so we got our cut piece of metal here for our lip. I mean, look at that. Now here's the thing that everybody's gonna notice is, Chris, that is perfectly straight, and your lip, you know, has some type of circumference here. How are you gonna get that, you know, to match up? So I'll show you what I do here. What I have here, this has been around my shop for a while, because you guys know that I tear up quarter panels and lips like you wouldn't believe in these burnout competitions, is I have kind of a lip jig here, is what I call it. And I'll take it over here, and I set it on the car, and this is gonna be kind of difficult for me to show you holding this camera. So what I'll do is this will make a shape, right? So I can take and spin this around and make it do whatever I want, and then I get it matched up to the quarter panel. So give me a second, I'll get you set up and I'll show you what I'm gonna do here. All right, so hopefully you guys can see all right, but we've got my lip jig here, and what I can do is I can set it up on the quarter panel here, and then I can take and start working this jig around, like so. See how we're starting to get the shape of the wheel lip now and the quarter panel? That actually looks pretty dead on. I mean, I'm gonna dial it in, obviously, but this just gives you, you know, the general idea of what's going on. That actually looks pretty good. It needs just a little more, I believe. So we'll just work this on around. With all these slits, it's pretty malleable. Yeah, that's gonna be almost perfect right there. So what I'll do, now this is stuck in that shape, right? So now I can take it over there and cut an actual lip out of our steel, and boom. And then we'll make this patch here and weld it all together. That looks pretty slick. All right, so let me go get this cut out right quick. All right, cool guys, there we go. So we got our new lip cut out, and we've just got it set in place right now with self-tappers. At some point, we're gonna go ahead and back these out and we'll plug weld these holes. But in the meantime, now I need to go over here and create a patch for this rotten section here that's been ripped out. Get it in place. We'll get a couple tack welds, and then we'll remove all of this, weld this all together on the backside, get it all smoothed out, and then we'll come in here with some body filler and just kind of massage this all back in place. But anyway, let me go ahead and get this patch made. All right, guys, good deal. Boom, get you some of that. So we got us a nice little patch installed, got it all dialed in, redone our lip. I mean, that thing looks awesome. Can't complain about that, especially for a burnout car / drag car. Still got to plug weld a couple screw holes here, or these sheet metal screws, but I'll get to that in a little bit when I clean all this up. But I am super tickled with that. Now, keep in mind, we still have a mountain of finish work to do here, right? We still have to get this all block sanded out, then put our body filler on, then sand it, get to this ready, nice and smooth sanded up here. Still need to patch this hole right here, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. So what I think I'm gonna do, man, that turned out really good, is I'm gonna go ahead and go over on the other side. We're gonna knock it out real quick, and then we're gonna get on to body work. Alrighty then, good deal, guys. So we went ahead, got our new lip put in, which looks awesome. Got that dialed in about as best as we can, and I know it looks rougher in a stucco bathtub, but if you rewind to the beginning on how bad that looked to start with. So anyway, we got our new patch installed, and then on top of that, we got a combination of like body filler, glaze, primer, paint mixed with a little bit of rust and some minor dings. But anyway, I think we can go ahead and correct the rest of this section here with a, you know, like a sheen of just a little bit of body filler to dial it in. And we're going to go ahead and patch a couple of these little areas here. Same on the other side. But anyway, let's go ahead and get that body filler down here and go ahead and get it put on so it can start drying, and we'll go from there. All right, let's get this body filler open. Hey, before I even get started on this, as you guys know, Advanced Auto Parts is one of the main sponsors to our channel here. They sponsored all the body filler, tools, all that jazz for the body on Grem, so we want to thank our friends at Advanced Auto Parts. I mean, if you're not shopping there already, I don't know what you're doing. All right, let's go. Come on. Now get my meat hooks. There we go. Dang gone. All right. We got to get this car done. I'm here to tell you. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Okay, what I use is these little trays. I know they actually have like body filler, like actual correct tools, but I use these, and the reason why is I put my body filler in here. I got somewhere to get up in the corners. That, and when it dries, all you got to do is twist the tray. All the old body filler breaks off, falls in the trash, and you can reuse the tray. So cool. All right, let me get something to get that out with. Christmas is right around the corner. Want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that jazz. And of course, you know the deal. I'm going to do my very best to be here with you. So, let's get to putting in some body filler. Oh, yeah. We're gonna need a bunch. So we're just gonna scoop us a bunch out of here. Yeah, that ought to do it. That ought to do it. Let's get our lid put back on. Now the way I do this is probably much like everybody else. I just put one line right across the middle of it. As soon as I get the jizz out of it. Just like that. Let's make this up, get all the air bubbles out of it, and let's get to putting this stuff on. I don't imagine it's going to take long. I don't know, it's probably not going to be too bad because it's only like, I don't know, 40 degrees out. Just pancake this stuff up over itself without getting it everywhere. And I've got a new hoodie on like an idiot. That's all right. I know where to get more. You guys want a hoodie or a shirt or anything, get on over to the old community page and it'll tell you how to do so. All right, let's get to putting this body filler on. Don't want no air bubbles in here. We are going to be extra generous with it right now. Try to stay below that body line as much as possible. Sorry guys, my phone kept falling off the stand, so Kathy's helping film here. My body filler is drying up and I'm trying to get as much of it as I can on here. Now I know some of you body guys are like, what is he doing? Yeah, it's starting to dry up, so we're gonna have to nix this here in just a second. I'm gonna try to get as much as I can on here without a bunch of bubbles. I'm wearing more of it than I'm putting on the car. All right, that'll have to be good enough till that dries. Good deal, guys. Here we go. So we went ahead and got the first set of body filler sanded down. As you can see here, we do have a few low spots, which isn't that big a deal. But what the main thing is we've got our body lines back. That is sick. These new lips are like, they're in there like swimwear is what I'm saying. This side here isn't too awful bad. We got this all dialed in. Obviously, we're going to have to, smooth it out just a tickle more to get the scratches out. But this here turned out real good. Again, we got a couple little low spots. Not that big a deal, but our body line turned out sick. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up another round of body filler, get that dialed in. We'll let it sit. We'll get it sanded down, but you're going to have to catch that on the next episode. So on the next episode, we'll go ahead and finish dialing in the rest of this body work. We'll get the car ready for paint. And I've talked to my friends at T&F Signs. We've got something pretty cool for Grem. I think you're all going to like it. But anyway, I got to get back to mixing some Bondo and getting this stuff put on. But anyway, y'all have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we're going to have back-to-back videos coming for you here very soon. And we got something pretty cool for the Dirty Dodge in store. So anyway, you guys know the deal. I love you. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. BRG out.